standard number 5 in program accreditation has to do with graduation, progression, and certification. And what institutions are asked to demonstrate quality in this area is that they have requirements and procedures that are really clear for graduation, the progression of their students from one degree, from one level to the next, and also that institutions are issuing appropriate certification.
Here, again, we're talking about the end game. We want to produce, if you will allow that word, graduates, good graduates who correspond to the profile, who will be effective in the churches and ministries and roles that they have after their graduation. But in order to get there, we need to be very, very careful about how all of these pieces of the process are lined out.
Yeah, I mean, a program of theological education, in a sense, it's like a contract between a school and a student. Between two human beings. There's a contractual agreement. The student comes to us and will pay fees and will do certain things, and in turn the institution says, okay, here's what we will do for you. And in particular, as you look toward the end of the time that a student spends in a college, the issues of graduation, progression, and certification are really, really important. So basically, what do you need to do to graduate? What are, for example, the academic hoops that you've had to jump through, the courses you've had to pass, the grade average you need to obtain, the credits you need to have accumulated, but as well issues of character, issues of ethics even. Has a student met the outcomes that are part of the program and the community ethos to actually be able to graduate with a degree in theological education that tells the world, that tells the church, that tells society, this is a person who knows God and wants to serve humanity. So graduation requirements, progression requirements as well, how a student can progress from one degree to another, that needs to be really clear as part of quality assurance. And then certification. What do we mean by certification?
That can mean a number of things, but basically that there is a document that relates to a qualification.
Yeah.
And that document can be a diploma, it can be a certificate, it can be a competency document that relates to a given skill that's been developed in a short course, for example. And our schools can offer a number of different kinds of certification to the students.
Particularly as it relates to an international community like the ISET family, which the roadmap is in a sense aiming to serve. Certification that includes documents that help student mobility are really important. So certification that translates in a way the degree at an international level in terms of credits, in terms of what the outcomes of that degree are, even in terms of nomenclature, and we'll come to that in a minute. But so the certification, some schools even issues letters of recommendation to students that have to do with their character and with their ability to serve in a church, and churches and denominations often really, really look for those letters of recommendation just as much as for the grade point average, which is a really good thing. And finally, completion statistics in terms of quality and graduation requirements. It's really useful for a school to keep statistics on the students that are completing, the graduates, the grade point averages, the attrition rates. Mm-hmm. This can be really helpful to monitor, again, in terms of quality, to feed back into the internal quality processes at graduation to see how are we doing, in terms of our graduates.
And here we need to remember all along the way that the student needs care. Back to the idea of the paraclete. We, as institutional people, need to be aware of the students' needs, that we can console, that we can encourage, that we can exhort them, and we can sometimes defend them in cases, to keep them going, to keep them moving forward, and to come to the point of graduation, so that our statistics of attrition will be reduced because we have done a good job of walking with them.
Absolutely. It's all about love. The great is the commandment. Love them in graduation, progression, and certification. Standard number 5 in the program qualifications.